Welcome to Raising Peacefully, where everybody's story matters and we are all on a journey in life, and sometimes we can't tell the world how we're transforming, how we're developing, and this is the stories about my families, the beautiful people I get to meet and align with and I guess start a journey with in some way. These are their stories, and today I've got Natalie.
Hi.
So welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Today's a little bit about your story, and then we have had one session of the nervous system healing for you. Naturally, it just felt like that was the best fit for what was going on, and I still remember it.
So do I.
Finishing that session and walking out with you, I was like, it was different. Let's start just a little bit of an intro about you, who you are.
I'm a mum of 4, and I also have a mums community page online on Instagram called The Mums Club and More. And how we met was, well, just incredible. So I usually take my kids Wednesday mornings to Airport West for the kids' activities that they have. And surprisingly, that Wednesday I was like, I don't know if I want to go out and, maybe stay at home and do things with the kids. But then I was just looking on the app and to see what was on for the day. And I saw peaceful programs and I was very curious. I'm like, what is peaceful programs? I've never actually come across it. And just the word peaceful in itself, did something to me. I'm like, you know what, I could use something like that right now. So I thought, let's go down to the shops. Went there, saw you.
Yeah.
Instant connection.
Yeah.
Something drew me to you, I felt. You had a very calming energy, beautiful presence. Anyway, we got chatting and my kids were around doing the activities that you had there. And we got talking, and obviously at that time I was in a very vulnerable state. I was going through a miscarriage, and so speaking to you brought up something for me that felt necessary to go and go ahead with. So, made an appointment. And
I know, it was crazy because I saw the kids, they were just booming with creativity and confidence, and I was looking at you, I'm like, something's not aligning here.
Yeah.
Like usually a confident child has a very confident mum, and I'm like, when I met you, I'm like, something's in your heart that it's not matching and it's not your true self. And I always say my clients and they find me in a really odd space, an odd time, because it's not supposed to be forced. It's supposed to be a natural healing process.
Yeah.
And I couldn't wait to hear your story when you came in. And although it was a heavy story, it was something that we needed to go through together again.
Yeah.
But this time you had someone with you.
Yeah.
Going through that. Because with 4 kids, you're hiding, right?
Because this wasn't my first miscarriage. It was my 3rd. And it was more like almost in the middle of the pregnancy. So you built a connection, you've planned ahead, you've planned for the future and stuff. And so when you say going through it with somebody, it means a lot for me, because not that I didn't have anyone, but just it was deeper. The first one was like a shock for me, the first miscarriage. So I kind of didn't fall I did, but I wasn't so deep into grief. And then the second, it was like a sign from God that, the pregnancy was ended, and, when I prayed and it all happened. And then the third, it really hit me, like really deep. And,
There's a true emotion of grief. That's what we identified together.
Yeah.
But look how we're smiling now. Like before, when we say that, we would break. But now it's like this liberation because we've somehow understood it. Yeah. And with it comes understanding. Doesn't mean we're not letting go of that feeling. But
I feel like you pulled it all out of me. So it was stuck deep inside, and I really just lived in survival mode and just not avoided it, but just thought, I can't be in that position right now. I've got kids, I've got a husband, I have to move forward. And so I never really, I kind of suppressed my feelings. But then with you, you're like, hang on, you're not doing that. It's dangerous. It's not good for you. And so when I came into the center, it felt like this was the time, like, and you just knew exactly how to help me and hold my hand and go through that stage. So
it was beautiful. I think finding the right person is so important. And I was a bit afraid. I was like, oh no, we can't actually use the Resi Max, because for about 20 minutes I'm like, how am I going to get the Resi Max now? And so we finally got the device. How'd that feel on your body when we put the Resi? Because first we put it on the back of your neck. How was that sensation for you?
It was amazing. Like, it was just, because like, as you said to me, the left side of my brain was blocked, or, you know, the left side. And so it made so much sense, because like I've lost so much of my senses in that side, and, you know, my logical thinking, like nothing was there. And so it made so much sense. And then when you put the device on me, it felt like my whole system was regulating, and, you know, I kind of felt alive in my body, whereas for some time I wasn't there inside myself. Like, it's like hard to explain, but and, you know, it was quiet. And then when you put it on me, I felt like all these vibrations, and I felt like alive again.
Waking up.
So,
like, I didn't find it funny at the time, but now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, you actually couldn't smell anything.
No, I couldn't.
You had no smell.
And, you know, you told me these exercises to do at home. So I went there and I'm making sure I'm blocking my right nostril, and I'm like trying to smell. I'm like, oh my God, I still can't smell. What am I going to do?
Because one wake-up call we had is when the brain goes through shock and grief, it turns its senses off.
Yeah.
So you can't smell, you can't hear, you can't see. You think you are, but it's like, it's not really, nah. And so the first thing that went for you was you would eat, but you wouldn't taste anything, because grief really goes that deep. So I guess the first exercise we did was waking up your nose to get to the taste. Are you tasting food now?
I am a little bit. It was definitely like, I didn't realize that I actually, like, everything was shut off until, like, you know, you came and said, hang on, like, what's going on here? And I'm like, oh, wow, she's right. I'm like, I actually haven't been tasting anything or smelling anything.
Yeah.
So,
And it affects your parenting, because when your senses are off, like, kids are talking, they're like, mum, because the whole time you're probably not listening.
Yeah.
Because that's what grief does. The brain turns off, but the left brain, which has that call to action, there's no action.
Yeah.
It's all like taking in. Your right brain was flourishing. It was like taken over, the what ifs, the pictures, the dreams.
Yeah. It's so amazing how you actually can read that. You can sense that. It's crazy because I literally, like, I felt so out of myself. Like, I couldn't function. Like, this grief really hit me really hard. And, you know, for weeks and almost like 2 months, I was just thinking, like, how am I going to get through this? Like, I'm not even alive and within myself. And, you know, I have kids, and I felt like I wasn't giving them the best version of me. So
what emotions did you have at that point, apart from the heartache and the grief? Like,
I had anger, guilt. It's just a lot of anger, pain, trying to put pieces together, trying to find closure.
Yeah.
A lot of sadness.
Yeah.
Just really sad. Yeah.
You told me something when you finished our session, that something happened to your heart.
Yeah. So I couldn't even bring my hands close to my heart. Like, it wouldn't reach that part of my body. And when I finished with you, I felt like that block there disappeared. It was something in my heart opened and kind of was reaching out to everything I was feeling before all this pain. Yeah, it's like a bit of it just started to open.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I remember your breath, like, you came in and you were just talking like normally, and then we were walking out in the corridor, all I heard was
like relief.
Your breathing's now coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a huge that window of opening happened in that moment. It was magical. And we went from opening your nose to sensory smell to having your nervous system and your brainstem. Then we went to the most, I guess, using your powers in your right brain. And most women are born with their right brain on, and then we kind of go through life with our intuition, our gut instincts, and we're not really methodological. If it feels right, it feels right.
Yeah.
For the most of the women, we do have really amazing CEOs that are left brain and they're just phenomenal powerhouses. But for the right brain, like you and I, we sometimes the imagination can really put us into a ditch.
Yeah.
And we don't use that imagination as power to connect. And we had a moment of using your power to connect to our kids today. And it was, I think that was a big shift for you of using the functions that you already have to something good instead of letting your right brain drag you down. Because in today's society, a lot of the right brain, a little bit of education for everybody, like when the right brain's on for so long, you can get diagnosed with depression, bipolar, anxiety, a lot of the right brain OCD, which is not like, oh my God, I got to fix my hair all the time. It's the one of, okay, if I say a prayer 4 times in my head, then nothing bad will happen. Or if the superstition, I should call it.
Yes.
Things that our mums do. It's like, don't laugh, like it's not a time, or like don't vacuum at night or something crazy.
I've heard that one before.
Yeah. It's like the superstition. It's a right brain tick. It's a right brain OCD. And that happens when we have babies in our tummies. It's like you go back and say, all right, if I do this, then it'll be healthier. And if I don't do this, then I won't cry. So your right brain was using all those yucky stuff instead of using it for good, for the imagination. So that was the point where I was like, we have to wake up your left side of the brain. Like this is a massive trap and it gets to your organs. Like it can really affect us health-wise, where the body just keeps that score, which you guys would probably know about that book.
Funny you say that because I actually felt like I was going to end up with a sickness or something because of how like deteriorated I felt because of my whole left side being so asleep and not, functioning.
Yeah.
So after I left you, I felt different. I felt almost human again, or and I was better to go home. I was home and like being with my kids, but I felt better and I was providing better for them. And
how was that? We couldn't reflect on after.
It was so good. Like I felt normal. I felt like I could parent, I could mother my kids, I could literally listen to them and, not just be in such a survival mode and so shut off. So it was good. It felt like big relief. And
did your husband notice any change?
Yeah. He's like, what did you do? It's like, what's going on? You're back. I'm like, wow. And I was just literally, so I'm like, you don't understand what I just did and how great she was. Like I felt so different.
Wow.
Something just bloomed again inside me. And you know what? I wasn't even actually like with my whole grief and stuff, I wasn't going so deep into it again. Like I felt I could kind of overcome that, but like it was still there and it's always going to be there.
But it didn't suck you in.
No,
like it
that's
did
right.
before.
Yeah. So I felt like I could.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And we were only together for 60 minutes.
Literally.
Like it wasn't anything.
Yeah, but you did something so incredible to my body.
And the fact that your husband noticed that's big because they know us the better.
Yeah.
They know all our versions.
Yeah.
Right. And he'd have his own grief too, but seeing you struggle is that's a second layer of grief for a dad or a husband. So there's a lot of things to this, but I think the biggest thing we should tackle is what to say to our kids when there is fear infected in the house and how to remove that fear and replace it with an empowering emotion.
What I think is in today's society, it's a spiritual warfare. So
yeah.
So we need to be strong here and here.
Yeah.
And when we are strong there and there, our kids are protected no matter what.
It was hilarious. I was going through Reels and it said, you know, we're going to have restrictions on electricity and we're going to have restrictions on gas and we're going to, and then there's a message with a star and then the next, and then aliens is going to come and they're going to blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, if an alien meets my kids, like they won't be able to deal with them. Like my kids will like seriously get rid of them very quickly. I'm like, I dare them like to come and help me out. Like, I'm like, they're so loud.
Yeah.
Like they don't listen. And then a part of me is like, well, what if all our non-verbal autistic kids can communicate with these aliens? I just got so curious. And these are the things, you can either see something and create a positive story or see something and go, okay, how can I make my house be okay with the UFOs coming or whatever it is. So like we're been fed information since we were born, and it's how we take that and develop and grow. And I became very spiritual during lockdown.
Yeah.
It was the best years of my life, although I had a lot of pain and my daughter had the burden of it. I grew dramatically, and I think that's one thing that we need to be ready for is another spiritual awakening for those that want to take it.
Yes.
So you mentioned your husband said you're back, like when you came into the house, there was this shift. He felt something in you that changed.
Yeah.
And identity is a tough word because I feel like you are still your same self, but something shifted differently for you. Do you still see your journey as different roles that you're playing, or is it like more of an internal shift?
I feel like it's more of an internal shift because the journey is so new and, you know, it's like you haven't walked. You have, but you haven't walked that journey before. So, you know, you're still trying to catch up and find yourself and find which way to take, which path to take. And your mind's everywhere at that point. So everything becomes a trigger for you and, you know, you're overstimulated and then you have the kids and then, you know, the things that mothers have to do, the cooking, the cleaning, and taking care of everybody, and then you're left with yourself, but you're not there. You're deteriorated because you're trying to put the pieces together and, you know, then you're like, oh my God, I used to be this person and I never used to snap and I never used to. Then all of a sudden you're like, where am I?
Yeah.
And then you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, who is this person?
Yeah.
You feel so empty inside.
Yeah.
So before you had a spark, you brought grace into the family. And so, husbands notice. They notice a big shift. And I think that's hard on them as well, watching you go from one place to another and not fully being present in the moment. It plays a role, massive role.
Massive role. And I feel like your journey is going to be like it's very vulnerable. It's for beautiful storytelling on your behalf, but it's also going to build those women in your community, because I know you've got your own community.
Yes.
Just to be okay with having these conversations together and being okay with knowing that a spark can be there and not there the next day, or the self-growth piece there. So did you want to give us a little bit of information on your community and I guess your little spark of keeping going in life?
So I've built a community and it's based on a modern day mum's village. You know, back in the days, everyone had each other. Everyone was around. You could let your kids walk in the streets and, you know, someone was looking after them. Whereas these days it's more isolating. You know, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of standards and judgment for mums. So I built this community, the Mums Club and More, and, you know, to make it okay for women to feel what they're feeling. Motherhood is a massive transformation, you know, and it's okay to lose yourself one day and be okay the next day. Yeah. And it's a support. It's the support that, you know, we don't find these days. And, you know, having mums just talk about what they're going through and having someone to listen, because that's a big thing. You know, we could talk, but is there anyone around to actually listen or understand where we're coming from? Yeah. So, yeah, I've built a community that, makes it okay for women to, come together and support one another.
I love that because it's opening a window and doors for new relationships.
Yeah.
And I found in my journey when I became a mum, I closed my door to a lot of my past friendships because I wasn't the same person anymore.
Yeah.
And I wanted my next relationships to come with some sense of purpose and alignment, which friendships have always been hard for me. And I found motherhood very isolating.
Yeah.
Like it was the only time that I felt lonely, although I had two new souls in the life, like in the home. I had to bubble wrap myself in some way because I've got a different story. But moving forward from that, I realized like seeing your page, like there's a space where I can tell my truth and not be judged for who I am or my motherhood journey or what people thought of me beforehand. All that, with the snake that like gets rid of all their layers.
Yeah.
I think that's just really beautiful. So
Yeah.
did the kids do anything surprising or do they say anything?
No, they were just like, they were just throwing comments and, Mum, I love you. Mum, you're so beautiful. Mum, I think they just felt that energy and felt that maybe that gracefulness come back.
Yeah,
so
the nurture.
Yes. Because it's been a wild ride and, obviously my husband was dealing with
Parenting more.
and supporting me. So it wasn't easy and I think he even felt the relief when I came back home. So he's like, oh, thank God. Some pressure off. So
Yeah. It's a big journey. It affects all of us in the house.
Yeah.
And if mum holds something, it's very contagious.
Yeah.
And dads are a little bit different. They can hold something, but they can hold the boundaries a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just
We're the heart of the home, as they say.
We are. I guess with dads, and I'm speaking from like other families, I see the things that they step over is their frustration and anger.
Yeah.
That's what they can't let go of. But if mum's sad, like that breaks the house.
Yeah. We kind of lay the foundation
Yeah.
for the day.
Yeah.
And it's important for us mums and fathers too, but speaking on behalf of a mother, like it's important to feel good, to feel alive, to feel like you're not just in survival mode all the time because it really plays a part in your kids and your family. So
I know I helped you with grief of loss, and there's a lot of us that have lost our loved ones in some way.
What you did wasn't just for someone who's lost somebody. It's a whole nervous system regulation, which is so important these days because everything is so fast-paced, so like we can't keep up in the world, let alone ourselves. So if we don't have that regulation, we fall apart.
But for you, it's helped you come back home to give connection now for anything that your children may have been thirsty for or haven't seen in a long time. And doing them justice, but also the self-development piece for you of the emotion grabbing all of your conscious state and your focus. So, yeah, it's a huge transformation in one session.
I know.
I'm
I almost
gobsmacked.
didn't recognize myself, to be honest. Like I was like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just you're just in this dark, deep place and then all of a sudden you see the light again. And within a matter of, like you said, 60 minutes. It's incredible. Imagine if over the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You will. I'm loving this because that means like in the future we can have this conversation again and reflect and go, where were we and where are we?
Yeah.
And a lot of my beautiful families, they come in as mums and then they've all got businesses by the time we're done with our program. Like they're different. You would see, like it's crazy, the transformation.
Yep.
Not saying that is what happens. Like,
but there's potential.
It's digging into someone's potential.
Their growth.
Yeah. What would you say to someone where like they're going through similar to you? Like what would be your reflection and message for them?
For me, I would say feel the emotions, feel what's there. Don't hold it in. But also don't lose yourself. I know it's very easy because you're so in such a dark place. But if you just trust that whatever's happened is meant to happen for whatever reason, you might not see it now, but there will always be light at the end of the tunnel for sure. But, look after yourself, comfort yourself, get the support that you need. Use the help that's there. Don't think that you can do this all by yourself because you can't. And that's okay. You don't need to feel guilty or ashamed.
Yeah.
Just really, really comfort yourself during this time and feel what you need to feel and move on because there will always be light.
I love that because we need hope in the world. Yeah. And people, there's a lot of therapists out there that can say, do this, do that. But when it comes from someone that's lived something, it's different.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Words are just words.
Yeah.
But, actually going through that crazy journey is it's something that you're learning for the first time. So you're navigating and you don't know which way to go, what to do, how to feel, but just let yourself be. Yeah. It's important. Yeah. You might lose yourself a little bit here and there, but you'll find yourself.
Yeah, be kind.
Yeah, 100%. There are resources out there and, there's support, but it's not always – I feel like it's not always that available to suit everybody's individual needs. Yeah. And with this whole crisis in the world, like a lot of people are falling into depression and, are just so like in a dark place. Yeah. So I don't know, like I feel.
Yeah, I've been reflecting on it because of the beautiful nature of the right brain mums. They're going, what if this happens? I need to survive and protect my kids, and so I'm going to go do X, Y, Z on a reality that they've created in their brain.
Yes.
Then you've got the left brain mums that are saying, methodologically sequencing, what can I afford? And then what can I invest in and resource that into my home? And I'm going to systematically prepare my house with flour, rice and resources.
That's what I've done.
Okay. There's so many things to it, right?
Yeah.
Now, because we lived through COVID, and I'm not going to just blanket that, I'm going to say we saw on the TV screen that China was in lockdown. Like, yeah, whatever. It's just another Asia thing or a world thing. It won't ever get to us because we're always like this free country. Yes. We're untouchable. And then the shock of seeing something on telly and then hitting us was the biggest shock for society in Australia, going, that wasn't about them. It was actually about in our backyard, which that was the first time a global crisis hit our backyard. Yeah. So a lot of parents went through that shock of going, we are not untouchable now. We are not in an Australian bubble. We are exposed. And then the threat to the outside world started psychologically. The lockdown itself was spiritually the biggest awakening for society, but it also created social unrest where a lot of people started not trusting what we thought was our reality.
Living in fear.
So then the dynamics in the home completely changed. Some struggled with their family and some struggled with society. And those that decided that outside was the threat became stronger, closer, and opportunity. Those that thought inside, I can't deal, broke up. And you would have seen a lot of families.
Broken homes.
Broken homes, yeah. This is the next stage. Again, we're seeing a threat. No one knows if we're in our own bubble or if we're exposed. Yeah. And mums know that we're not untouchable now. Mum knows that something can happen. I know for me, my husband's flamboyant about it. He's so chilled. And a lot of dads out there, they're just get on with our day, we're fine.
Yeah.
And it's the mums that are going to protector mode, not the dads.
Yeah.
Are you finding that?
All the time.
Okay.
It's all around.
Yeah.
And what you said, I love what you said about how the ones that feared the society side became stronger family unit, and the ones that didn't broke apart, because that's what I'm seeing like everywhere around me, and it's scary.
Yeah. I think we need to consider risk and prepare as much as we can, but not prepare like physical purchases, because the government still will look out for us in some way, because they know they can't have a dysfunctional society to protect, because then the society will turn on to the government. Getting quite political here, but toilet paper shortage, the government helped out in that way. Home loans not being paid, the government helped out in some way. So there is a level of society and order that the responsibility is for, that will be taken care of. What you can and only control is your home.
Yes.
Okay. And your home, it's what you're feeding your children now mentally. Okay. So as a mum to my kids, I'm trying to bubble wrap them as much as possible. But there's things that you shouldn't avoid. And I always do this. We're in a country where there's natural disasters all the time. I've actually trained my kids on what to do if there's a natural disaster. If there's a fire or a wind, or if there's lightning, what to do. Yeah. What are the signs? Have your kits ready. I'm not saying that I can see the future and, something bad will happen, but you know that you can go to sleep to go, I have a plan in place for my kids in my home if something did happen. Yeah. And it's the what we're saying to our children that matter. So they need to feel safe and feel protected, irrespective if you don't feel that. You need to put a strong front to say nothing will happen to you. That's right. You see the world and the kids, the way they handle shock is very different. They get on with their day and they get on with their life in a freeze response. They could cry and cry and cry, but crying in a war or a natural disaster, crying is really it's like a blanket for an adult, because there's life. Yeah. It's a bit weird. Right now, if a kid cries, you're like, oh, it's just so triggering. Yeah. In a crisis, when a kid cries, it's like this. It's like someone just pouring water on you. And you're like, okay, there's still life out there. We're still surviving. So our kids will live through crisis, but we need to make them feel safe in that moment. So I haven't thought about the messaging and what that looks like for a mum to tell their child, but I really want to work on that to educate mums and dads in what to say. But I would still look into teaching our kids what an evacuation looks like. So when it does happen, or if it, God forbid, like, I don't want it to happen, but I'd want them to know, like, when something happens, you go under the strongest table. Then this is what we do. This is what we do. Where are the passports? Like, they're all missing or in somewhere sock drawer or something. Like, be ready for anything, but also don't feed on that fear. Yeah. My favorite movie of all time is Apocalypto. I don't know if anyone's seen it.
I haven't seen it.
It's not in English.
Okay.
Mel Gibson movie. It's based on the emotion of infecting fear in society. And
that's how we're all living right now.
The biggest message in that movie is no fear, no with a K. So if you know fear, you don't live your life making decisions based on a fear.
100%.
And that's what we need to teach ourselves and our kids. It's know the feeling of fear, but don't let it infect you to crumble or make the wrong move, make the wrong decisions. And I'm seeing my husband's a landscape architect and he's getting all these bookings of inspections. And he's rocking up. And he goes, Sev, people are wanting me to design like gardens and kind of a doomsday prep stuff. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, like, they want levels where they can hide food. They want levels where they can make their own and plant their own food. Like it's all going, bonkers right now. People are going, well, we need to make our own food just in case. And for me, psychologically, that's fear.
Yeah.
That's high fear. So they're basing everything on fear. Now, as business owners, I think we have to look at the dynamics of what does a new world order look like. So I know I'm prepping for that
Yeah.
as a business, because what if I can't physically see my clients
Yeah.
physically? Like, I need options to see them differently,
Yeah.
and making that work for them, getting that mental health support for them. Well, if you're interested to join the community, please find Natalie. And what's the name on Instagram?
The Mums Club and More.
Mums Club
Yeah.
and More.
Thank you.
I'll be at your events, so please come and say hi.
Yes.
And it's been an absolute pleasure having you.
Thank you
I'm
so much.
forever grateful that we met at Westfield,
Same.
Airport West. So shout out to Westfield. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sevda. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.